I once had a crazed Marxist professor who seriously tried to argue that Fabio was some aesthetic ideal of masculinity. The point he was trying to make was that he was so masculine that it bordered on feminine. If you don't know who Fabio is, he's an Italian-born model, long hair, long blonde hair, big muscles, and he was in the I can't believe it's not butter commercials. He posed for an NES game, I believe it was called Iron Sword, and he was the cover model for a lot of romance novels. Maybe this professor I'm talking about was just trying to admit in an indirect way that he wanted to fuck Fabio or be fucked by Fabio. I don't know. All that I can say for sure is that he definitely was trying to make the point that gender is fluid and beauty ideals are fluid and fascist and bigoted. All the stuff that we already know to be bullshit. I knew this statement was bullshit at the time that I had heard it, but I couldn't quite figure it out for myself why. It's been a few years since this moment, but I think I've given myself enough time to fully articulate it. The only thought that I ever gave to it at the time in the moment was, I've never looked at Fabio as the manliest man, and that's the kind of man I want to be. Which is to say nothing about his character because I don't know who he is, I just know what his profession is. That reaction I had in that moment said a lot, because we as men, we set our own standards for what is masculine. It's the behavior that we demand of each other. It has nothing to do with a beauty standard or an aesthetic ideal. So the argument that was presented to me was sort of a straw man masculinity. It doesn't hold up under any scrutiny. Because, like I said, there's no beauty standard for what is masculine. Beauty standards only come from people who are attracted to something. And the vast majority of men are not attracted to other men. These sexless, pulseless people don't realize that beauty standards come out of a physiological reaction. For the vast majority of men, when we look at a nice waist-to-hip ratio on a lady, yeah, that gets us excited because we know that she is capable of bearing children. Women are lucky in that respect in that they can signal some kind of biological superiority in just how they look. With men, it's more complicated because we have to show some kind of social mastery in order to attract a woman. The point that I'm making here is that you can have long blonde flowing locks, a strong jaw, and big giant muscles, but that only says so much, if anything at all. True masculinity comes from behavior. Men who live according to a standard informed by something noble and eternal. And if you disagree with that, I think we can agree on this. The definition of what is masculine should not come from some Marxist retard. Once upon a time, academia was a place where high culture was transmitted to the rest of the culture, and now you get guys using butter salesmen, fake butter salesmen, as an example of what's masculine.